Megumi and I started our Scottish adventure at 4:55 on the morning of August the 10th, 2016, when we waited for the highway bus which would take us to Fukuoka Airport. On the way, we were treated to a beautiful sunrise. After checking in at the airport, we didn't have long to wait until we boarded the plane for Helsinki and took off. The plane took off in a southerly direction, so it had to swing around before passing over the Japanese coast and flying out over the Korean Strait. It didn't take long until we reached South Korea at Busan. And from there flew up across South Korea to the city of Seoul. At that point, the aircraft veered off to the left to avoid North Korea, and we flew out over the Yellow Sea towards China. Unfortunately, when we flew over Beijing, it was overcast and we couldn't see the city. As we continued north and west, we crossed Mongolia and then over northern part of Russia. Unfortunately, most of the way there was a blanket of cloud below us and we couldn't see much of the landscape. However, from time to time the cloud blanket did break up, and sometimes we could see some of the great meandering Russian rivers. In this case, the river Ob. After passing over the border to Finland, the plane started to decrease altitude in preparation for landing, and as we came down through the clouds, we could see the Scandinavian landscape below us, with green fields, green forests, small farms, and many, many lakes. And finally, 9.5 hours after leaving Fukuoka, we landed at Helsinki Airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Helsinki. Please remain seated and keep your safety belt fastened until the safety belt sign has been switched off. Please open the overhead lockers carefully. We hope that you have enjoyed this Finnair One-World flight and we look forward to having you soon as our guest again. Thank you and goodbye.
We had a few hours transit time at Helsinki's Vantaa Airport. I treated Megumi to her first Scandinavian open sandwich. She chose a roast beef sandwich, and I chose a prawn sandwich. Megumi was also interested to check out the large variety of Moomin dolls. Then it was time to board a smaller plane and take off on our way to Edinburgh. As we left Finland and flew out over the Baltic, the clouds closed in again. Once across the Baltic, the clouds cleared for a short time, so we were able to see the archipelago around Stockholm and Norrtälje. Then the clouds came back, and it wasn't until we crossed over the west coast of Sweden that we were able to once again see the many islands below. From there, the blanket of clouds remained. The only change we noticed was when we started to approach Edinburgh, they changed from nice white clouds to very dark rain clouds. As we started our descent to Edinburgh Airport, we were met by good old-fashioned Scottish rain. When we stepped out onto Scottish soil at Edinburgh Airport, we were both feeling very tired after the almost 24-hour-long journey. It was raining heavily, it was getting dark, so as soon as we picked up our rental car, the only thought in our minds was to get to St Andrews as quickly as possible and get some sleep. So the journey from Edinburgh Airport to St Andrews is totally undocumented. There's not even a cell phone picture of that journey. On arriving at St Andrews, we soon went to bed and tried to catch up on the sleep that we had missed. And with that, we came to the end of the first day of our holiday in Scotland.